first two segments on fishing drop shots. We've looked at the hooks, we've looked at the weights, we've looked at the line and the rod, and all those four things kind of come into combination to really form the components of the drop shot rig. But what about what kind of bait we want to fish? And this is really just such a wide open category because there's so many different things and so many different bait and choices that work with a drop shot rig. It's what makes it one of the most versatile rigs that we have to fish. I've got, you know, 4 of my standard baits that I customarily fish with a drop shot rig, and I don't have any certain, you know, notion in my head of what I'm going to fish first. I may have all 4 of these things rigged up on different rods just to see what the fish like, and I'm going to alternate throughout the day with, you know, try different colors, try different sizes, try different styles of baits just to see what the fish want, especially if you're in an area and you're catching fish. That's really important with, you know, not only a drop shot rig, but any other type of rig that you fish is, you know, you want to be able to show those fish, especially a group of fish, something a little bit different throughout the day. So I've got a variety of different baits from, you know, one of my favorites, which is a Yamamoto cut-tail worm. This is a 5-inch worm. They make a 3.5, 4, a 4.5, 5, a 5 3/4. They make a bunch of different size cut-tail worms. I like the 5 most of the time, although I will scale down and maybe go to the 4 or the 3.5 if the bite gets really tough and I'm maybe losing some fish or missing some fish. I'll scale down and go to a little bit smaller bait or just break a little piece of this 5-inch worm off. But that cut-tail worm is an awesome bait that, you know, doesn't look like it's got a tremendous amount of action, but it's unbelievable how many fish that bait catches right there with a drop shot rig. Another one is just a standard 3S crawdad, another Yamamoto bait, little 3-inch craw. You really can't go wrong with this. Fishing anywhere around the country at any time on a drop shot rig, they nose hook really well. You can also, you know, scale down your bait and make it, you know, a little bit more compact just by pinching off an end and nose hooking it, you know, so that the pinchers kind of stick out just like that. Also another variety of, you know, different colors that we're going to fish with this bait, mostly crawdad, browns, black and blue, those sorts of things. And this bait I kind of really like if I'm fishing in and around stumps and rocks and, you know, other types of cover like that. If I'm in that kind of situation, the crawdad really works good. There's another bait too, which is probably one of my favorites when the fish get on more of a shad or a bait fish kind of diet, and this is an awesome late summer, early fall bait. This is a shad-shaped worm, which is another Yamamoto bait, and it's just an awesome bait fish imitator right there. It's got a tiny little thin taper tail and a really slender, cylindrical type body, and you nose hook that bait too, and that's an awesome bait, and it floats up really nice on your drop shot hook too. Perfect size, perfect offering, perfect color for most of the bait fish that are swimming around. And then really, if you want to show them something just a little bit different, for those of you who have ever fished a Wacky Rig Senko up in the shallow water or skipping up under boat docks, you can do the very same thing, but with a tiny little number 9C Senko, this little tiny 3-inch deal. And you would just tie your regular drop shot rig with the regular weight, regular hook like we saw, and just rig that tiny little Senko right through the middle, just like you would a regular Wacky Rig Senko. Drop it down there, and then, you know, when you're down there shaking that drop shot rig, that bait has a tremendous amount of action to it. So this is a great bait if I've got dealing with really finicky fish that, you know, I can't get them. Maybe I've gone through these 3 baits and, you know, caught a bunch of fish already, and I want to show them something a little bit different. I want to try to catch a few more, and, you know, maybe they're biting my bait and they're not getting it real well. That little Wacky Rig 3-inch drop shot Senko is awesome for a variety of different situations, especially when you're trying to trigger strikes. So keep an open mind when you're fishing these different types of baits, and now you've got all the components. If you watch all 3 episodes of drop shot fishing, you've got the whole package. Now you're ready to get out there, you're ready to go catch some fish. I'm Mike DelVisco. and I'll see you on the water.
And for more bass fishing info, log on to FINS'nTALES.com or like them on Facebook. Fins and Tales, your hotspot for bass fishing stories, videos, people, places, events, how-tos, product reviews, and so much more.